And in this video, we're actually going to be taking a look at our budget. A few things I want to point out real quick, and I kind of briefly talk about it on the video. We don't have everything filled in, so all of our information that's in our budget for the post month, what we actually spent, that we haven't been able to compile all of it yet because just got the computer back. Starting next month though, we're going to be keeping detailed track of all the expenses. It's going to be properly entered into this database, or sorry, spreadsheet. So we'll be doing monthly budget updates just so people can kind of get an idea of how things fluctuate with us on a month-to-month basis. But this video is pretty much just going to be a breakdown of what our proposed budget normally would look like. Hopefully this will give you a little bit better understanding of what certain things might cost. Now that you've seen videos of our house, you kind of have an understanding of the expenses. And again, this is for 2 adults, so I'm not just covering myself, but my fiance as well. So these expenses could vary depending on yourself, your amount of food you eat, or different expenses, how many people you are supporting with that budget. So that being said, hopefully this will be some useful information for you. All right, so this is the actual format that we are using. I should note that because my computer was out of service for like 3 months, we just got it back at the beginning of this month. Still getting all this thing updated and set up and ready to go. But this is the format that we are using. It's a little bit different than what I was just showing you because here, one of the big differences that we have projected. This is your pre-month. So before the month happens, you just go through and you just start populating the fields with what you expect your expenses to be. Rough estimates, doesn't have to be exact, but this is what you think it's going to be. That's why it's the projected expenses. Then you have your actual. This is at the end of the month. You'll go in and you'll populate all this with the numbers that you actually were spending on everything. I have these extra tabs, so for every single month, this page itself I've printed out and I keep it folded up, carried in my wallet. So if I'm out, I spend any money at all, I'm recording it down on here. So if I'm going out paying for transportation to go down and buy something at 7-Eleven, I'll record that down. And that way, one thing is your totals. If it's written on paper, do not calculate anything by yourself. Just fill in the numbers for every day. That way you can go through and at the end of the month on this spreadsheet itself, just copy that data in here, let it calculate on its own. Okay, it's got all the formulas and everything. It will do all the math for you. Don't try to screw yourself over putting all the numbers into a calculator and accidentally hitting the wrong button. But you want to keep track of all your expenses on a daily basis. At the end of the month, so this is October, so when we go to actual, at the end of October, we would put all that data in. I didn't know, but my fiance actually went in here earlier and started putting some of the data in for the bills that we've already paid. We haven't paid everything though, so personally I would have just waited. It's not going to look accurate. Things are going to be looking a little bit different until you've filled in all of the information. But that's pretty much just how this works. So you've got your, for every month that's on your sheet, you just fill in your data. At the end of each month, you pop that into the actual numbers. I have this one spread out for several months. That way I can kind of keep track, over a 6-month plus period to see if there's certain trends. But the projected, you're able to go through and you can play around with numbers. The whole point of this is to plan things out. So the big key is when you look down here at the end of the month, are you still in the green? Do you have a little bit of money left over? Are you in the red? If you're in the red, you're going to have to adjust something. You're going to have to do something because that means you don't have enough money for it. One thing I definitely want to point out that a lot of you guys are going to be noticing, savings is zero. There's a reason for this. My budget here is for 2 adults, not just myself. Because my fiance works, we came up with an agreement early on because I thought it would be the easiest way to do it. So my budget, my income that comes in every month, that pays for all of the expenses that I have to cover for immediate deductions. So my visa fees, my cell phone back in the US, my credit cards back in the US, any medications that I need, any software, like anything that I have to cover, that all comes out of my budget. And then the rest of the money, the spendable money, that's my money. That covers all of our living expenses. So she sets money aside, and it's plenty of money. She sets her money aside for savings. So if we have an emergency, if there's something wrong, we've got that money in the bank. Any extra large sum of money that I have, that also goes into savings. Don't worry, I'm not worried about her scamming me or playing around with money that she's not supposed to. She's mature, an adult. She's not doing that. Trust me. But as far as not having savings, it's because it's coming out of her paycheck, not mine. But my paycheck covers 2 adults. With $8.93 per month, and it's around, I think, like a 48 right now exchange rate. I think this month it actually I only got like 42 something. I had here 43. But with all of the different immediate deductions that I have, my spendable income per month is only about 600 US dollars. A lot of people are going to be, okay, $600 just for one person, that ain't enough. For 2 people, you're crazy. But if you look here, that $600 is the spendable income just for our living expenses, our day-to-day costs, not covering all those immediate deductions. Because our immigration stuff is taken care of, everything like that's already taken care of. $600 per month is working out okay for 2 adults. We are paying $6,000 a month, so $120 a month for the rent. If you've already seen the video on our house here, you can see it's a fairly decent sized house. A little bit different design because there's no actual outside part or yard or anything like that. But for the size here and the condition and everything like that, we're doing all right, for $6,000 a month. Our power, it's around 3,000. Sometimes it's usually less than that. Our water, 400. Our propane. Thing with our propane, we got a propane tank back in March, beginning of March when we first moved in. And now, here it is, the middle of October. That propane tank is now finally starting to run out of its juice. We're going to have to get it refilled this month. But that's like, what, 7 months that that tank lasted? I was thinking 2-3 months, but it's been 7 months. We do a lot of cooking on it. So it's $700 to refill the tank. Purified water, you got your city water comes into the house, not clean to drink. You go and you get your purified. Some people choose mineral water. We choose purified. So you get your purified drinking water for drinking, cooking, making your ice cubes, etc. Our internet costs, our internet that we have here is supposed to be at 20 meg. We're getting 20 meg down, but our upload's only at around 10. So it's going to be kind of slow. If I'm really starting to do a lot with the YouTube stuff, I'm probably going to have to increase it. Our food for the 2 adults is actually pretty low. Sometimes we're going over that just because of me. I'm constantly going, and if I go to the store, which I'm not allowed to go to the grocery store anymore because when I go, I keep on buying tons of import foods, and our monthly food budget ends up being like 10,000. So if she goes, I just tell her what we need, types of vegetables and ingredients, and she goes and gets it. Usually that's okay. But 7,000 a month for 2 adults, that's only about 140 US dollars. By myself, I was going through twice that in the US, and we're still able to do it fairly easily here. Dine out, if you want to just order a burger, or if you're stopping by at the mall or whatever, you just want something, a quick snack on, that's your dine out. Groceries, toilet paper, paper towels, laundry, soaps, any consumable groceries, expenses, cleaning supplies, things like that. Pest control, we were having a lot of problems with the bastard little red fire ants. Been getting pest control, so we haven't had a big problem with that. We don't have roaches here, but the ants have been a huge problem before. Laundry services for the two of us. Cell phone. I don't use a lot of the phone because of quarantine. Don't leave the house that often. We have our internet here at the house, so when we're at home, we're just using Wi-Fi for all of our phone use. If we do go out somewhere, it's just a good thing to have that ability to text with people, and if necessary, using like messenger service. At some point, I definitely want to get to the gym. I also, at some point, plan on uh, getting a motorcycle. We have public transportation. This is for the two of us. For my vice, my addiction, cigarettes and Coke, soft drinks. Um, Usually we'll go get a couple 12 packs. So we've got a couple Cokes. We usually get like a Royal Orange and then a Sprite for a little mix up. But yeah, I go through that. And then miscellaneous other, like this month I went out, I bought a new can opener, good strong quality can opener, so that'll be in the other expenses. It's not a consumable item, so it wouldn't be under grocery. Um, if we have to go out and buy a spatula or uh, I think another thing I bought this month, I got a whisk, for like mixing pancake batter. But you can see that with our expenses, as long as we're able to stick to this budget, I still have like $3 to $20 roughly somewhere at the end of the month. If there are times where we have to go out and buy something a little bit extra, like, maybe next month we need to go out and buy some new whatever. This month we bought a couple more plastic chairs for the house so the guests can come over and have places to sit. Wasn't covered under my budget. She covered it out of her budget. So sometimes my budget will completely get drained and we'll start taking some of it out of her budget for things. But I mean, for the most part, everything that's on here, as long as we're actually this portion of the budget, we're fine. We're doing okay. We're able to shuffle it around. We're able to make it work. By having this budget all laid out here, I'm able to sit and play with the numbers. For example, once I get married, I'm able to get a different type of an immigrant visa. I won't have to be paying for the tourist visa every month. So once that happens, that portion can be zeroed out. Right now, I have a loan that I'm still paying on, so I'm paying like $26 interest every month for this damn loan. Once I have enough money to completely pay off the loan, I can zero out the rest of those loan payments. Prescription medications, software subscriptions, all these different things, they're going to be there. So with all these different expenses that I've got going on, I've still got enough to cover the living expenses for the two of us. It's not like we've ever had a problem where our budget got so bad that we couldn't afford groceries. That's never been a problem. Yeah, sometimes I do go spend more than I would have liked because, I see online and oh crap, dude, look, I can go online and I can order a can of Hormel chili without beans. I can make real, chili dogs, something I haven't had in a long time. But I'm looking at it and it's like $4 a can for this canned chili for doing that. It's tempting, but I got to wait till I got the money for it. Uh, Last month I I got a box of Pop-Tarts. You can't find Pop-Tarts in your local stores. They're going to be at your import places like the Costco store, S&R. I got a box of Pop-Tarts. It's 6 packs. Each pack, there's, two Pop-Tarts. It's the same as basically what you would buy back in the US. It cost me, with shipping and everything, it was like $6 or a little over $6 for the box. Yeah, it was more than I would have paid back in the US, but it's something that it's one of those comfort items, just a nice thing. I got other people to try them. So out of the box, the 6 packs, I only got 3 of them. The other 3, I let my fiance try them, her family, the kids. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. These were the strawberry flavors, so most people usually get strawberry, but it was giving them an opportunity to try certain breakfast type snack food you get in the U.S. So that's what I do sometimes. I'll just go on, I'll order some foods that we don't need, but it's just kind of nice to be able to have that treat, once a month or whatever. So if we were to stick to the budget, we'd have no problem sticking to the budget. So for 2 adults to live comfortably, we're not amazing, but we're living comfortably off of $600 US per month. Not everybody could do it. Uh, Not everybody would possibly be comfortable with the living conditions that we live in. It's not going to be the same as you are going to find in the West. I'm just going to put that out there. But we're able to do it. So enough with this. All of these templates are going to be available. I'll probably put them in like Google Docs or something so that you can use it, modify it, do whatever you want to. OpenOffice, free to download, free to use. Very similar to Excel. There's just a couple functions that are not here or they're slightly different in the way they work. But for the most part, if you need a database, you need a spreadsheet and all that stuff like Office has, but you don't have the money to pay for Office, this is a good option. You just got to go to Apache's OpenOffice.com or org, whatever, and get it for free, and you'll be able to use these templates. Hopefully this has all been good, useful information. If anybody does have questions about other details as far as the budget, go ahead, let me know. I'll be glad to explain why things cost certain amounts or whatever like that. So thanks a lot.